I'm looking. It's not on. It's not coming on. It'll usually bring me to a screen and pop up real quickly.
He's fashionably late.
So I can't see anything yet.
It's up. They can see you.
Where? Can you guys see me? Because maybe my connection's bad. I'm not seeing anything.
I can see you.
Okay, there it is. All right, how are you guys? He's right there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Spanish
he's here.
people, always late. Never tell them 12 o'clock because they'll be here 1 hour later.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Hey, Sir John, how are you? Hey, Wayne Chia, how are you?
Fashionably late.
Does it look blurry, guys, or does it look clear? Because I think it's just probably my phone and my connection right now.
Yeah, you might as well use Verizon probably.
Okay, I was using Verizon. I could not see it. That's why I told you I didn't know if I was starting. And Gene, the insurer, might not renew the Aussie Opens insurance. What are you guys? What were you guys talking about? I guess they were chatting amongst each other already.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, they're talking about some insurer.
All right, is Grandpa here?
Yeah, he's here.
Yeah.
Like I said, Spanish people, guys, girls, if you're out there, you marry a Spanish guy and they say one thing, just wait for a long time. All right, so Sir John's on, Gene's on. I guess he's trying to learn Spanish.
Who is?
Gene, because he says, "Where's Senor Carla?" Laugh out loud.
What's up, homeboy?
What's up? You start?
Yeah, we just turned it on. You're good. You just sit in the chair and we'll be ready to go. Oh, I got wings too, chicken too. Yeah. There we go.
What?
We're loaded up.
Hola.
Pork chop.
So what's going on, guys?
¿Y los niños?
Están arriba, Sofía.
Okay.
Están arriba.
They're
Están
upstairs.
arriba, están arriba.
Ah, ok.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. All right, I think we're all in the picture.
I'm looking at your screen.
All right, so we'll see if my head's in. All right. You ready to go?
Yeah.
All right, Nathan.
All right.
We're good to go. I don't know if I'm in it because this is like a three-way setup.
Mhm.
All right, we're good to go.
Mhm.
All right, can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
We're good to go.
Let me get out and go back in because usually that's what I have to do. So go in.
Mama, ¿quieres ir?
Oh, and I poured you a drink behind you in case you get thirsty.
Oh yeah, they can see. They said wings and chicken.
Despacio.
Oh, they can say it's definitely.
Yeah, you're good.
They're fine.
Okay.
Wings and chicken, said B-Dog, huh?
Oh, we're gonna hit up the grill. He's the grill master.
And then Gene said, "Hola, señor."
¿Cómo está?
Hi, Carla's dad, says Sir John.
All right, we're ready to go.
Hello, hello. What's up, Ying Hao?
All right, hello and welcome back to another 5K tennis discussion. Today is Friday, April the 24th, 2020. And as you can see, we have Carla's dad, Nathan, here. So hopefully everyone is all right. Again, all of you out there globally, please feel free to give us status updates for how you are doing with this entire thing that we're all dealing with, and we'll do our best to read them. You never know what you see on the news here.
I don't watch novelas, no.
What?
Somebody asked me if I watch soap operas. I don't watch novelas, no.
All right, so again, all of us here at 5K Tennis and all of you have become kind of like a group, kind of like a family per se. So it's nice to have extra family in the house today. What's up, Nathan?
What's happening?
Boom! Can't wait to hit the courts a little bit later. So everyone meet Nathan Mora, Carla's father and predominant coach growing up. So what we're going to touch on today is a couple of things. Number one, can a parent be an effective or complete tennis coach to their child? Number two, how tough is too tough to be on them? And number three, just some random questions for these two. And number four, we obviously ventured down different paths because you guys asked them questions. So this is not going to be about me. I'm just going to ask questions basically and maybe, throw something out there. But I'm going to start asking the both of them questions, and hopefully we have honest answers, right? Mm-hmm. Complete honesty. We're all coaches. We're all tennis players. We get it. And life is tough, and we understand that as well. You ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm just looking at if the guys are saying anything.
All right. So I'm going to start with Nathan with the first question. You ready?
Go ahead, shoot.
All right, here we go. Nathan, you were once a soccer player. At what age did you begin tennis, and what made you switch?
Well, I started playing soccer since I was a child. That's the predominant game in my country. You know what I mean? A lot of people play with one number 5. You know what I mean? The ball.
Honduras being the country.
Not only Honduras. I mean, soccer is big in Europe. It's big in all over the world. It's the king of the sports. Where sorry, football fans out there, American football,
Don't worry, most of them like
baseball,
soccer.
and all. Soccer is number 1. It's the king. The reason I swap into tennis is because tennis is more. You gotta be a surgeon. You gotta be like some sort of technique. You could be strong, but if you don't have the technique, you ain't going anywhere. So it's been proved. A lot of guys with big muscles and stuff, they go play over there, don't last. But you have a skinny guy, like you remember those guys in the past, so how little they were, and they were genius with the racket, and that's very attractive. And right now, you see the game has changed a lot. I mean, into more hitting than technique, but that's a mistake. But that's another show. But what made me play tennis is because every time I play soccer, I have into my temper is kind of hot. And yeah, they hit you, I hit back, and then you start a fight. And I said, man, this is not right. This is not. But then one day I'm walking in Brooklyn. I remember 66 Brooklyn, New York. I'm walking around this course and I see these people having fun here. They didn't even know what they were doing, but they was pushing the ball back and forth and they're having fun. I said, oh, look at that. So I decided to buy a racket and I start from there. Then I took some lessons and the rest is history. I love the game.
Okay, so here's an odd question. If only one of those two sports existed, one being soccer or football or tennis, and you could go back in time and had to choose one sport, which sport would it be?
Honestly, tennis. Why? It's because it's an individual sport. You all by yourself. Soccer, I know there's some superstars over there. There's 11 guys against 11 guys, but one guy is a star. No, in soccer, you got to make yourself a star. You're the one who have to break with your own light. That's why I choose tennis.
It's a good answer. I would further that by assuming, I'm not a soccer player, don't know terribly much about it, honestly, but I'm assuming tennis you can play a little bit longer.
Definitely, because in tennis you don't get hit. It's not a contact. It's not you don't have contact with somebody else. But and you run a lot. I mean, and don't get me wrong. Soccer is not an easy game. But you can get by just by being in the shadows of somebody else. Like you see the teams, who 2 or 3 are the stars, and those who remember their names now. But in tennis, everybody remember if you're good. If you're not. But it's individual game. That's the reason I like that. It's like a boxing. Boxing is all you make the shots. Tennis is the same thing. You're a gladiator up there. You're on your own.
True. That's why I love it so much. And there's not a lot of soccer players that I've known in my life that played at high levels, at least college. That's the highest level that I know people. That they generally have knee construction or reconstruction on both knees as they get to that age.
Let me say hi to this person because I've never seen them before. His name is Joaquim Martin Freixa. He says, hi, I might be the only guy following you from Barcelona, Spain. Well done. I think Sir John says that he plays soccer. He's a tall guy, but I guess basketball is his sport.
I think that's the first person that's commented from Spain, though.
Yeah.
Well, I think we may have had 1 or 2.
No, they're usually from Brazil.
Brazil, I think,
Right.
yeah. So welcome and great to hear from you. Second question. And this one goes to Nathan. I have it color-coded. Blue is boy and pink is girl. So I can keep up with it, you know? All right, so Nathan, second question is for you. Your first memory on the tennis court with Carla was what?
Well, I was happy to see my daughter with a tennis racket in her hand. Yeah, I was happy. And it was beautiful to see that. And then, like every father, every parent, you know, I mean, they have this idea in your brain that, man, I'm raising a superstar. You know, it's something that happens to everybody. I want this girl to be, you know. But you know, things are what the reality is that it's not easy. But I was so happy to see her. Even though eventually we have a lot, you know.
This is good.
A lot of heat, you know. But
this is good. That's how it's supposed to be. And we're going to get into that too. But speak freely because I agree with you 100%. And I know my father does and I know Carla does.
Yeah.
I know looking back we may regret being so tough. But I think now as we're all older and we look at how we treat our kids, it's very tough.
Mm-hmm.
I know there was times where my father would run me ragged to the point of just absolute exhaustion or frustration, and I look back and I'm very blessed for that. So understand that whatever you may regret is actually probably to all of us the right thing to have done. Anyway, so again, I'm sorry to interrupt, but your first memory that you remember, like the first thing that stands out to you When you remember the first time Carla on the court, your first memory.
First memory, I remember I played like almost every day, and she never wanted to play. And there was a little girl. She was taking lessons from somebody that eventually he became her coach. Steve Carberry, that was his name. I hope Steve's still alive, man.
He
You know,
is. I contacted him.
okay, good. Because a lot of people are kicking the bucket lately, you know. What can I tell you? But anyways, the first time I saw her with a racket, she was natural. I think probably because she was watching us play a lot, and I was so happy. And I said, "Oh, wait a minute here. Oh, I think she can do it." And then she how old were you? Like
11.
10, 11?
That was
A little late for because she didn't want to play tennis until she was 5, 6. She didn't want to do it. I didn't want to push her either. You know what I mean? Just want to be, whatever. But when she started playing, it made me so happy. And I remember she had those. She had an aluminum racket. One of my racket, big racket, all those Prince,
Prince Graphite.
all
Prince
rackets.
Pro or something.
They used to make some guitars and those. Unbelievable, crazy. But actually, she was hitting with that, and we had a little tournament later on the same week, and she ended up winning.
That's what I'm talking about.
And I said, how the hell she did that? And then after that, she improved, and we have a good coach right now.
That's right. We do have a good coach. All right, third question. So, third question, Carla, is the same question that Nathan just was asked. Your first memory on the court with your dad, not with him coaching on the sidelines. I mean, on the court. In other words, him not watching you play. What was your first memory?
Of watching him play?
No. What was your first memory of your dad being on the court with you? Not like in the back watching you play a match,
there's a lot
saying, hit this ball that way. I'm saying, what's the first memory you have being on a tennis court with your dad?
With my dad, I mean, coaching me. Of
Coaching,
course.
yes.
Okay, well, there's many, but the most memorable one to me was he taught me how to beat a pusher. He would put up these ropes, and he would say you have to hit deep, and we would. There's many I can choose from, but that's the one that stuck into my head. Learning how to hit the ball deep. He would say you have to go over the rope. You remember? You would put like a net.
Yeah, in other words, this is the net right here, and I put another net. That's also like a rope. I said you gotta hit on top with spin, so you keep your opponent, away from the net. Because you remember in those days, tennis was different. Serve and volley was very common in those days. Kids hit and come to the net and take the net away from you. Mm-hmm. And in order to keep them away, you gotta hit deep with a lot of spin. Some sort of like clay. You see how clay is. Well, Nadal controls this because Nadal hits the ball with tremendous spin. By the time you want to hit the ball is already on Venus.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I remember that with him it was indoors actually. We were at Prospect Park. And we had the bubble. I remember when he did that, and that's one of my memories. That always stuck with me, and I actually use that in lessons a lot.
I'm assuming with this bubble, there were some kerosene heaters somewhere, high or low.
Definitely, yeah.
You remember the bubbles with the kerosene heaters? We had one at Virginia Beach that way.
Yeah.
All right, so the elevated net rope drill, which we've done before, so now I see where it comes from.
Except I put a bench in front of my students. I put 2 benches, and the ball, if you hit that bench, it's going to hit your face. So it's a little more intense than yours because it's right in your face.
There you go.
So I kind of thought about it. I kind of thought about how can I make this more difficult and more advanced and more modern. So I grabbed the 2 white benches. I put one right in front of them. I flip the other one. It's right in their face, and I feed the ball. So if they hit straight flat, it's coming right back at you.
Okay, that's a good memory. Okay, so now the questions are going to get a little bit more difficult, so be ready for that. Sorry, guys. But there's a lot of people out there that are big-time tennis fans and big-time tennis players, and there's not a better pair to ask these questions to. Coach and dad, daughter and player that both are really passionate about the game today. So here come the questions. Nathan, you have 2 children that are high-level tennis players. Nathan has a son, Jonathan, respectively. What's up, Jonathan? Really good tennis player, lights out, and always has been. Great court conduct, a really amazing one-handed backhand type player. Really good. With the contact said, you have 2 children, Nathan, that are high-level tennis players. Your son, Jonathan, and Carla. Who was more frustrating to coach and why? Be honest.
Well, I think both of them were frustrated to coach. It's not easy to coach your own kids, you know what I mean? Carla was more disciplined. Carla was more an athlete, Jonathan was kind of more talented because He didn't want to train a lot, but he had some shots. But I remember he didn't want to run. Football was terrible. So I told him, in order to be a better player, you're gonna have to have a good football because in any sport that you practice, football is number one. It's not tennis. Is not up here. It's on your legs. Boxing is on your legs. Muhammad Ali was an example of that. Of course, you got hitters out there. They lucky shot and you're down. But the thing is that was the problem with him. And it was very frustrating. And with Carla, when she played tournaments, that she decided to push the ball around, trying to move the play. I want to see her hit the ball. And with Jonathan, well, Jonathan was more hit. Of course, he was the boy. He hit harder than. I don't think he did hit hard then like Carla was hitting, but Carla was more passive. She wasn't aggressive like I wanted. But Jonathan was frustrating to watch him playing because he didn't care. He played against a boy. I know he could beat him. He just, he took it for granted. You know what I mean? But Carla tried. She tried because remember she started late. And these little girls, they started when they were 4 years old, So for them, it was more natural, the shots. And Carla was an athlete. And she beat a lot of kids that were very talented. Actually, she beat a boy her age. When this boy was coaching, he was little. He made him cry. They had to kick me out of the tennis course because I didn't want to see my daughter lose to this boy. And it's stupid of me, as a father, you're very passionate about it. You want to see your kid do great, and then an advice to the parents: don't even say anything, just watch the game, don't say nothing, because remember, parents up there, you're not coaches. That's why you pay somebody. In those days I wasn't a coach. I'm trying to be a coach, but through the years you learn a lot, and then you say, okay, I can give you this advice, I can give you this this knowledge, but it takes time in order to know all that stuff. And the mistake right now is that you wanted to be a coach father, even though you know the coach and you want to tell your kids, you got to win, you got to beat this kid, no, that's a big mistake. Let him have fun, man. If it happens, happens. If it doesn't happen, hey, still is your son, is your daughter, love them. But look, the sport is still here in the family. And the more important thing is that you enjoy the game. And you transfer this to your kids, and then your kids eventually give it to their kids, and so on and so forth. Thing is, that's why somebody used to say it's a lifetime sport, always with you.
So that's a wonderful answer.
Because other sports, you play baseball, and you become have a big belly, and you get a body watching on TV.
Exactly.
Tennis is not like that.
He alluded to his son Jonathan, who again is a fine tennis player. He didn't want to move. So I wrote this question down on the fly. This wasn't planned, but here's a question to Nathan again. I chased my second oldest son, Christopher. You're his grandfather. When he was how old was he when I started with Chris? He was like...
He's 15, 13,
so
12,
he was
11.
I started him at around 11, something like that, and he didn't want to move a lot. So a couple of times out there, Carla, not that I would ever hit him with the tennis racket, but I chased him around the court with the tennis racket and made him move. Do you think I was too tough?
No, I did that with Jonathan.
Okay,
I did that with Jonathan. I was in my 40s, probably 38, 39.
I remember that.
And I told him, listen, Jonathan, if I catch you, you mine.
Yeah, I told Chris.
I want to give you, a good distance. Start running. I'm coming after you. And he started running, boy. He started running, and then that's they got the potential.
Right.
You know what I mean? Even though you're a grown-up man and you can have more stamina and stuff, but they could be fast.
Yeah.
And no, I don't think you did anything wrong with that. I think it's just an example that the talent is something that it's a lesson that tell them that they can do better, that they can do a lot better.
Exactly. So yes, I'm guilty of chasing one of my sons. Actually,
I was laughing because Christopher's actually very fast, faster than any of us. And watching him run after Christopher, I said, "There's no way he's gonna catch Christopher."
I tried though. And he moved from that point forward. I was chasing him around with two tennis rackets. I had one in this hand and one in that hand. I was like, if I catch you, I'm gonna get you.
Oh, and it brought me memories. I was like, yeah, I remember we were at Leif Erikson Park in Brooklyn, New York, and my dad would say, "I'll give you a head start," and then my brother got smart. he would jump over the net. My dad tried doing the same thing.
No good.
And it wasn't good results.
All right, next question, Carla. You ready?
Yeah.
Your most cherished moment on the courts with your dad coaching you, not watching you play a match, but your most cherished moment on the court when your dad was coaching you. Not the moment where he reamed you with the tennis racket, which is normal too. We'll get into that because my dad did that to both of us, myself and my sister. But what was your most cherished moment looking back? What moment do you remember as a moment that you will take to the grave with you and never forget?
I'll be honest. As a junior, I never enjoyed my dad coaching me. Ever. I can't remember a good time on the court. Why? Because I knew it was going to be a long day.
It's okay.
Probably as an adult, trying to get back into tennis after I had Lily and him bringing me to the courts in Dauphin Island and making me move and, telling me, hey, come on, move your feet, do this, do that. That's probably my most cherished moment after I became an adult, had 3 kids at that point, I can't think, I'm sorry, Bob, but as a junior,
Hey.
you were tough. You would come out, he would have drills like he would say, I have 3 balls and we're going to use these 3 balls. And if you miss, it's going to be a long day and I want you to hit it back to me, you would say. And if you hit it away from me, it's going to be a long day. So tennis was tough for me as a junior. I did not enjoy him teaching me, but looking back at it, I understand why he did it. So that's why I think I get why my kids don't enjoy it with me sometimes because I know what he went through already.
When they move forward, they will look.
It wasn't fun, but when looking back at it, if he wouldn't have done that, I don't think I would be the player that I am today. I definitely wouldn't because it taught me how to fight, and that nothing's really that hard. If I can get through him, then
the coach. You're a top-notch coach. I remember when we met, you were just getting into coaching, didn't really kind of know what to do or how authoritative to be with your voice, or you didn't quite know the boundaries of what you could say or how hard to push.
Yeah.
And I think you can thank your father a lot for growing right into that coaching position. Second part of the same question is, what was your most cherished moment on the tennis court playing matches that you can remember with your dad watching?
I would say that match that he talked about, that match does stick in my head because I remember I cramped at the end and he lifted me up and you could see he was happy and I felt happy because technically I wasn't supposed to play that match. There was somebody else that was higher ranked than me, her, Sadaf, was supposed to play that match and they decided to switch us. So for him to see him so proud, yeah, that would be the highlight for me.
Going back to those times, I believe Sadat would have lost to the boy.
Yeah, because she didn't have the power.
She didn't have the power. You had the power.
I had the power, which is why I think they switched it.
She had the slice. She had all the kind of technique. She grew up and she started playing when she was 4 years old. But I think Carla, she was so strong, and the boy, both felt the power. I told her, you gotta hit hard, these boys. And like I tell my grandkids right now, don't forget about you lose. Doesn't mean anything. Juniors doesn't mean anything. If you don't believe me, ask the Williams. They never play juniors. You know what I mean? You can lose to anybody. It's like a sparring partner. Even if you lose, but you take some knowledge from that. Because when you grow up and you jump into a ring, you happen to play professional, then you have that. It's like boxing. A lot of people go with Olympic record, all this. When they go to the pro, kaboom, they don't have a chin. They get knocked out and you don't see them again. Mm-hmm. Right or wrong?
Right, correct.
In tennis, you have to have patience. You cannot push kids. Those days are over. Like in the past, you hear about McEnroe, all those guys, there was no competition then. We have competition now. All over the world.
Yeah.
is
playing tennis.
It's different now.
Yeah,
absolutely.
different.
Yeah. Now just I think back when I played tennis, there were so many kids in the United States that were good. Now it's not. We have, and it was odd that we got foreigners.
If you can go to any tournament that they not even names that you see the way they hit. Mm-hmm. Kind of look like you're watching finals in Wimbledon. I mean, everybody has a good game. So, but this is another show. Gonna have to talk about mental. This is mental.
Michael Walker says, "Tell your dad my oxtail." They asked if we cook oxtail. Came out good, incredible last night. Best ever, he said.
Yeah.
Oxtail.
I love it. I love it. You gotta be patient. You gotta deep fry it first a little bit, then put it in slow cooking.
I don't know if I've ever had oxtail.
Oh, that's delicious.
I tried to eat
it's
the tripe
delicious,
stuff,
but yeah, he was telling him about the tripe.
That was different. But
also, before we move on, Gene is he's 17 years old and he's starting to play tennis. And he's enjoying it. What advice you got for him?
Well, just tell him to.
He's watching the show. He's trying to learn Spanish.
He's in South Africa.
He's in
Oh,
South
just
Africa.
tell him to watch a lot of tennis and read a lot of books about techniques and stuff. Tell him not start to hitting hard. That's not the case. When you start, you gotta have ball over the net, back and forth, and you have to have endurance, and don't give up. Keep on going, and eventually the shots come by itself. Then all of a sudden you start developing a good. You gotta have a weapon. I always said either it could be your backhand, your forehand, or your serve, but you gotta have a weapon. You know, in my case, it's my forehand. You know.
Yeah, develop a weapon. It's a good place to start. Read, educate yourself, and be patient. Just to mention one thing, not that anybody cares, this is about you guys, but some of my fondest memories weren't necessarily on the tennis court when my father trained me too until a certain point, and then there was other coaches. But some of the memories that I remember that were favorable on court, it was always a battle, not in a bad way. Looking back, it was a good battle. But some of the memories that I remember is the trip to the courts and back home from the courts, in the old truck, or stopping here to get a icy, or a conversation on the way. So sometimes my most favorable moments weren't on the court because it was always an intense atmosphere. It was sometimes just on the way there and on the way back. So
that's a good point. One advice I would say is when you train your kids on the court, leave everything on the court. Don't take it with you to the house. I think that's a mistake that I made with my dad. I get upset with him, and I take that with me home so we wouldn't talk. With my kids, I tell Lily, she's very tough to teach. Once we're done here, I said, we are done. We get home, it's all gravy. Forget about it. I tell her, leave everything here. I'm not going to yell. I'm not, everything's happy. We're not going to talk about it.
Exactly. That's the way it's supposed to be. You know what I mean?
It's any of you guys who have kids in any sport. Yeah. Once you're done from there, forget about it. Don't take it with you at home.
Yeah. Once the fence shuts, you go on the court, business. Once the fence shuts to get off the court, it's over.
Yeah.
Moving forward. All right, Nathan, next question is for you. Do you think it is possible to be a 100% complete coach to your own child in any sport? However, in this context, tennis, why or why not? And do you think this is the same type reason why Tony Nadal coached Nadal and not necessarily father? Because it would be someone different that maybe that child wouldn't rebel against so much. So I guess to make the question easier, do you think it is possible to be a 100% player coach if you're the parent of that player?
It could be, but it just depends on a lot of things. One of them I would say is chemistry between father and son, or daughter and father, or mother, or whatever. If you remember Martina Hingis, her mother was her coach.
Hingis, yeah.
And they had a good chemistry going on. Even when she got her behind beat so bad by one of the greatest, Graf. She started crying in the end. You remember that was the French Open finals. Mm-hmm. Graf was about to throw the towel because, she was older and Hingis was supposed to beat her, but then something happened. And her mother came with a lot of love that she had for her daughter. Embraced her and said, don't worry about it. And she was crying. But that's one of the things that doesn't happen. You see Tsitsipas throwing the racket at his own father, It's tough to be a coach for your own kid, for your own kid. But it could be possible if the chemistry is right. If both of them have similar tempers, I don't think it's gonna happen. It's like a matrimony. One is tough and one is soft. If both of them are tough, divorce coming around is around block, what I mean, around the corner.
Yeah, agree.
So that's the way. That's why I say chemistry. It's got to be chemistry. It's possible, but it's recommended that you have somebody else doing it because you want to love your kid.
Yeah,
you don't want to be mad at your kid.
Let me ask you, Boss. So Stefan says, I told you that this show needs more Rafa fans. I bet your dad's a Nadal fan. What fan are you?
Well, let me tell you something.
Yeah, take the question here. I'm going to grab something real quick. Go ahead, answer the question.
Yeah, I will say that I like Nadal, but I don't like his style because I play with one-handed backhand. But he's a passionate dude. He's a nice guy. And it's not an easy game he's a grinder. That guy can get, he was young. He make everybody cry. Mm-hmm. You don't believe me? You remember the Open in Australia Open? They make it Federer cry in the end.
Yeah, he did.
So, but the style, I think for me, Nadal is the number two. He's one of the players that I admire, but for me, Federer is the number one. Why? It's because he's got the game that he's been coached forever. One-handed backhand, classic style. I don't like that stuff that they coach like this, and I like this forehand that is beautiful to watch, and that slice coming in, that one-handed. I mean, that's why you guys don't like this Austrian dude. What his name is?
Dominic Thiem.
Yeah, I like him because he's one-handed backhand, not because he had more heart. He needs to have a little more heart, but I like his style too. But Nadal, great player, unbelievable. That's why he's the second best.
So who's the GOAT? Because somebody asked you, who do you think the GOAT
Okay,
is?
before you answer this question, hold on. Who asked the question, who is the GOAT? Who asked that? Let me touch the camera so it doesn't go off. I'm right here. So let me I gotta touch it because this is just
You
the
think
cell
he's the
phone.
GOAT, Carla?
Okay,
Me?
but don't answer.
No, they're asking you the question.
Who asked it though?
Oh, Sir John said, Carla asked your dad who is the GOAT for him.
Okay, hold on real quick. I gotta give props to before you answer that.
And I'll get to everybody's question.
Yeah. So right here, I have written here for Nathan as the question: who is the greatest of all time? So myself and Surgeon were once again on the same brainwave, and yes, I have a section here where it's all viewer questions for Nathan and Carla. But Surgeon just brought the next question right out. So,
Who's the greatest?
the greatest of all time. Who you got? Of all time, regardless of slam count, who's the best player that's ever walked on the tennis
I
court?
tell you, I wasn't there, but according to history, Bill
Tilden?
he won a lot of tournaments. I never watched it because I wasn't even born then. But this is different generations. You know what I mean? I hate when they say the greatest of all time. You cannot say that. It's impossible because every time is different. You're gonna say Babe Ruth is better than who was the guy that was batting?
Jackie Rose?
No,
There's a ton of
the
them.
guy that broke his bat and they found something inside.
Maguire?
Maguire or the
Bonds
other
or
Sousa.
Sosa, yeah.
It's a different time, different. You're gonna say Muhammad Ali, Tyson is better than Muhammad Ali or whatever, or Rocky Marciano. He never lost, but it's different styles. I would say in this time right now, since I started watching tennis and back in the 70s, I believe Sampras is one of them. That's another era. Agassi was another then, I'm not going to say Corey, I didn't like that baseball backhand. But he was good. But I think Federer is the one that shines among all of them because how many Grand Slams?
20, yeah.
And one-handed backhand is the most beautiful thing to watch.
You're not gonna be happy because a lot of these guys are Djokovic fans.
Djokovic is good. Don't get me wrong, but come on, guys, let the ladies hit with two hands, man. Please, please. Hey, you tennis directors up there, forbid two-handed backhand, and that's an advantage for no. You just use one hand like it. It's like
it is an advantage.
Let me tell you something. When you play
Fencing.
yeah.
So,
How many hands you use?
one.
Thank you very much. Tennis is like supposed to be like that.
Yeah.
Good.
So you can tell a lot of us are on the same brainwave.
So wait, Michael Walker says Mood Hode is the GOAT. End of debate.
Okay,
But he says,
wait
who
a
do you
minute.
like, Borg or McEnroe? Who do you like more? Well, I just want him to
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
Well, that's a tough one right there. I like McEnroe because he's a New Yorker, and I live in New York 20 years, and I like one-handed backhand. But then again, Edberg, what a beautiful net game. Serve and volley, you don't see that anymore. I'm gonna have to put those two in the same spot, even though I give an edge to Edberg.
Okay, the same brainwave thing is here. So we've had the one-handed backhand come out as a question. We've had the greatest of all time come out as a question, and I have both of these questions already written down.
Mm-hmm.
So we're on the same page. He mentioned Lou Hode.
Yeah.
Who mentioned that? Michael Walker.
Michael Walker.
He's mentioned Lou Hode before. If it wasn't for my father, who's 82 years young, and my father actually played number one for the University of California Riverside tennis team, and surely he's out there watching now as well. And I think that was 1955. I think he was 17 when he started. He was born in 38. Lou Hode is one of those names. Again, I've never seen him play. I think we've tried to scratch together some old 8mm film when I was a boy. But Lou Hode was a name that was household in our home growing up. I don't know if you guys have heard of Lou Hode. I haven't heard that name in quite a while.
I heard it, but it never, it's like you heard who was Jackie Robinson.
Yeah, baseball.
Baseball.
But Lou Hode is a name that was household in my home as a boy. I don't think that my father would disagree with Michael Walker. I do think my father would agree with you though. Bill Tilden, Big Bill Tilden was someone that my father loved a lot. He did have a problem with Bill Tilden. He smoked Camel cigarettes. So Bill Tilden did the Camel commercials where he said, these cigarettes help me breathe so smoothly.
Oh yeah, right.
They help me breathe deeply. Mm-hmm. All right.
Well, Stefan says Federer said that he advises to play two-handed backhand.
Well, like I said, his advice to play, but then again, he won so many tournaments and he looks fantastic.
It is easier.
Like Nadal say, he looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
It looked fantastic.
I think if Roger Federer would have switched to a 100 square inch racket when Nadal jumped on the scene, he probably would have squeaked out a couple more. I'm not saying he would have owned the tails of the sides of the coin. I'm thinking he could have won a couple more matches, getting used to that high topspin to his backhand off the left.
Well, you gotta bring you back into that. Yeah, Sampras start playing with two-handed, and his coach's name was Pete, I guess, just like him. Mm-hmm. He said, "No, I'm gonna switch to one-handed so you can win Wimbledon." How many Wimbledon did he win? 7, right?
Well, 5, I think.
No, 7.
Did he win 7 Wimbledon?
Yeah, 7. Yeah, he won 7.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so a lot of the Djokovic fans are even saying, yeah, Federer says he gives advice. When I teach the two-handed to a beginner, it's so much easier. Right now, our 11-year-old plays one-handed, and the 7-year-old is two-handed. So it all depends on your student too.
Yeah. Well,
how easy they grasp it.
Well, I mean, keep your two-handed. I mean, it's whatever you feel comfortable with. You feel comfortable with two-handed, go ahead. You feel comfortable one-handed. I tried to hit two-handed. Yeah, kind of. It's not natural.
Yeah, it doesn't
one-handed
register.
is like this. You just bring it from. It's so natural. The only thing, the timing's got to be right. And two-handed, you can even hit the frame. The ball still goes.
You could be late.
You could be late, and ball you still hit the ball back to your opponent.
Yeah.
One-handed, you have to have a perfect timing. That's why it's more challenging. That's why it's more beautiful to watch.
Exactly.
You get it?
Yeah. All right. Real quickly, Carla, just to finish off this little segment here. Your father, we got down this path, and that's why we love doing what we do, because we always find new paths to go down and talk about. But your side of the question, quickly. And it's the same question I asked Nathan a little while ago. Can a parent coach be a 100% complete coach for the child throughout their lifetime? Quickly, in your opinion.
No, I think you have to have a mixture of coaches. You can be the main coach, but you need other coaches, because sometimes what you're saying, like I said, I teach a different way. I don't yell. I don't throw stuff. I'm very patient. I stay quiet. But I think that they need to hear from somebody else. And maybe you be the main coach, but have a few people coaching them. I don't think you can. Even Richard Williams had to let his daughters go.
Well, he wasn't a tennis player.
He wasn't a coach, but he made him hit. I mean, he got him there hitting the ball.
The guy can't even walk, man. I don't think he was
He'll
a
be in the
tennis
Hall
player.
of Fame. I mean...
Well, I mean, the girls did everything.
The big thing for me as a coach with my own 5 kids is that the children, and I'm going to speak for you, the kids don't rebel against me because they know I'm going to break something. Like I don't like grab my kids or hit my kids. I don't. But when they rebel or they lash out or they act out or they're not being respectful or they're not doing what their mother says, I go find something that they enjoy and I break it. That's because I can't. I don't have it in me to get physical. However, I find that on the tennis court, it's very difficult to teach your own child because they do tend to rebel against you in certain things. If I take one of my kids to a private tennis lesson and they're around a coach, do you think they're going to snap back accidentally at the coach? No, they're going to be a respectful kid and they're going to listen. But when they're around the parent and they're with them all day long since birth, and that's how we roll, I think we've always kept our kids very close to us. Some people do, some people don't, but we keep ours very close. So it's easier to snap back at your parent and not coach. It's easier to rebel. It's easier to pout where otherwise one wouldn't. So that's my only dilemma with being parent coaches. Sometimes I think the kids pay more attention to those that aren't your direct parent.
But never give up on them. That's one thing you can't do. You don't give up on them.
Oh, well, I mean, being a coach, your own kid is not easy.
No, it's not.
It could help them or it could destroy them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
Ask Bernard Tomic, Marion Bortoli,
exactly.
If you're throwing
you
stuff
want to
at
see Donald, what's his name is?
Donald Young's another one.
Oh my God, he still play like he's playing high school.
Yeah.
He never changed that style with his parents. He's still coaching him.
Yeah.
If he's a smart, listen, old timer, let me tell you something. It's about time I fly with my own wings. Let me grab another coach. And probably he would have a lot of Grand Slams under his wing.
Yeah, Donald was an up-and-comer for a long time.
Yeah, but he still
Lefty.
plays the same, like a girly, come on, man, change that style. But you need another coach. It's
Yeah.
like every sport. If you have a bad coach, what they do on football, American football,
If you have a bad coach,
Bye.
you're fired
bye,
immediately.
get the other one. No idea. This same thing in tennis, señores.
Yeah.
You have to. Nadal and his uncle, well, that's a miracle, I think, because this guy is. He said that Nadal is an animal. Nadal had a problem with his foot. He couldn't even walk, and he said, I don't know how he did it. All I did is tell him, coaching him, and this and that. But the rest, he did it on his own. That's a miracle right there. Mm-hmm. But that's different story. Uncle and nephew, I think they
It's
can.
different.
It's different.
Yeah.
But your own kid.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You need other
You
coaches.
guide
I don't
them,
think a parent can
guide
do it.
them, bring it into the arena. After that, hire coaches.
Right.
You have the money, you have the moolah. Okay, listen. I want you to coach. You observe the coach if he's capable to teaching new things, because you gotta be smart about it too. Don't trust any coach. You have to, because there's different coaches. There's different etapas. How you say etapas in
Stages.
English? Stages.
Mm-hmm.
That you can bring your kid to this level, but then somebody else will take him, will bring him to this level. Then finally you pro, and the pros, well, you're smart. You know you can coach. You can hire your own coach. Example. Federer, we had that fat boy coaching him. He fired him. After that, he was shining like a star. Do you remember him?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What his
He
name
coached
was?
Marat Safin too. I forgot.
Yeah,
his
but
name.
the guy was he brought him to the same stage. That's it. And Federer said, "This is enough. I gotta hire somebody else." And he did the right thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I see you guys chatting a lot about the women.
Yeah, ask him. Hold on.
About the women, greatest ever. I see some of you guys saying no, Graf wasn't the best ever. Some of you saying Serena was better. Who do you think? Others, Monica Seles.
Well, I tell you something. You're gonna be, you know who I'm gonna choose.
Henin?
No,
Oh, Graf?
no.
Martina.
Martina Navratilova.
Yeah.
Martina Navratilova won 9 Wimbledons. Okay. Martina Navratilova came from a country that didn't have no money. If you read the history about Martina, you will realize she loved the game. And Martina, when she was 60 years old, she still was playing double 50. She was playing doubles. What a talent!
Mm-hmm.
What a talent! One-handed, but beautiful to watch. I saw her in the Flushing Meadows. That slice approaching, man, it's not easy to coach, man. It's unbelievable. I mean, for me, that's number one. Number two, Graf. That's the first two I picked. And yeah, Graf was alright, but that wiki when the two-handed that she had, I never saw power on her, but she was smart. She was smart. She was smart, but she didn't have the talent like Martina. Sorry, Graf.
Well, Graf sliced. She didn't hit two-handed.
Well, Graf would pick her spots on the backhand side and get those spots consistently.
Yeah, well, that's what I said. She was smart,
Mm-hmm.
But,
Yeah.
But Martina was all that. I mean, she was a complete package.
All right, next question. This one goes to Carla. Carla, you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Carla. Tennis takes an incredible amount of discipline and mental toughness. You know that I'm very tough on our students and our 5 children when it comes to tennis. However, who was or is tougher, me on our kids or your dad on you, and how so?
Oh, my dad, hands down. You don't even come close. Sorry.
Okay, that's good. All right.
Sorry, man. Oh.
It's all right.
There is no drill that you've done with kids and students that
I used to
I could
have
have.
some tough drills.
I'll put it to you this way: the drills that he has our students do, I could have done with my eyes closed and would have been happy to do those drills. Not that his are not tough; it's just that he made it so tough that anybody else's drills are a joke to me.
Well, what happens these days? I try to make them do 200, 300,000 ball drills, and they start crying and pout halfway through it and want to give up. What am I
Our
supposed to
kids
do?
or the
Make them
students?
pout?
Our kids or
no,
the students?
No, I'm talking students.
I'm telling
Our
you,
kids,
kids are
different story.
not made the same way. They're just not made the same way. They're too busy with the phone. They're too busy having a boyfriend, girlfriend. They're too busy wanting to look pretty or socialize. The kids are, I think my generation, I remember all the kids that made the Reebok team or kids I played against, We were all tough. We all wanted to beat each other. These kids, they just want to be friends.
Look,
They're not ready to work hard.
We had one student out the other day, and this student, and I won't get into even gender because I want to keep it a kind of what's the word? Confidential. We were in the middle of playing a set, in the middle of a game, and they had to go sit down and get water and grab their phone. It was like 30 all at like 3-1 in a set we were playing, working on tactics. And I'm sitting there ready to serve it, 30 all. Like, I'm bouncing the ball, I'm fixing to serve, and I see this sit down right there in the shade and pull out something to drink in their phone. And I'm like, what? I'm thinking to myself, if that was my child, I'd probably chase him around the court with a tennis racket. But because it wasn't my child, I just, played it off. So what do you do in that situation? Do you tell some kid that's a student that, hey, you're weak? If that was my kid, I'd run around the court and chase him with a tennis racket and maybe heave a couple tennis balls in their direction. What do you do in that situation?
You can't do that.
You can't do anything. Let me tell you something. You remember what happens to that Spanish player? I think she was from Spain, and the coach was from Spain also. And when
Muguruza.
I don't know who, no, it wasn't Muguruza. It was another girl. And then the coach told her, "Do you want me to grab your racket and grab your skirt and start playing for you?" In Spanish. Very mean to her. I mean, the guy was so frustrated, man. I mean, to be a coach is not easy. You have to be smart. You have to control your emotions. And if your student or your player is losing, you're gonna have this is another day coming. Just let it go. That's it. It's over with.
There are some students that you can push, and we know which of those to push. I mean, there's some students I'm very happy to be on the court with because their parents tell me do whatever you got to do, and they're very receptive over criticism, and they accept it. They actually excel. But there's some you just can't do.
You gotta tell them parents also that they don't have a superstar. I mean, you want to be a superstar, you got to do something on your own, and you got to understand what you got into. I was watching this morning this history of Gabriela Sabatini, and her brother was saying that when she was little, nobody want to play with her because she was 6 years old, and nobody want to see this little girl, and you don't want to have fun, play and stuff. And then she did this. She went to the side and started hitting the wall by herself. Every day by herself. And then finally the coach saw her. He says, "Hey, I see that you can hit, eh? What else you can do?" He started looking into a good player. She really loved the game. Number one, you gotta love the game. And she wanna be there, man. She goes home, she wanna be hitting all the time. But these kids, oh yeah, I took lessons from this coach, la la la. I go home and then they forget about it. You like something, man. You always there. You gotta be constant. You gotta be there all the time. That's when you see that student is the one that you gotta pay attention. Somebody hit nice time. Okay, I see you.
I do have a student like that. He's a male, and I won't say his name. He does try so hard. Sometimes it's hard to get through him. He does put his whole effort, and he does go home and practice, but it seems like he just doesn't get it. What do you do with that? They put their own time outside of being with you.
Well,
that's tough because they're doing everything. They're doing everything.
Well, like I said, Carla, some people are they got this natural talent. Some people don't. But I'd rather have somebody that is more into it. Somebody that is more dedicated. That somebody has the talent and then take a nap. And this brings you the story about the turtle and the rabbit, right? The rabbit was the fastest, so he had to take a nap, slowly but surely, according to this cuento story.
If you plot along,
she made it to the final.
Yeah, if you plot along, good things happen. When I was a boy, someone my father would say, if you throw a pebble in the bucket, eventually the bucket fills up with pebbles, right?
Yeah.
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Random Chia asked, do you guys think Ever was lucky to have won 18 slams?
Well, those times were different.
Yeah, different time.
Different times.
Wasn't luck.
I don't think. I think she deserved it. I mean, she won. She was pretty young, and till Martina came into the zinner, the truck started having a flat tire. You know? It happens to everybody.
Yeah, as a boy, there was multiple players that literally it would be time to eat at the kitchen table, and my father would have tennis, more tennis, and tennis to study, and tennis to study, and tennis to talk about. Everett was always in the discussion. Groff was always in the discussion. Sabatini was always in discussion. We named our fourth youngest daughter after Gabriella Sabatini. So it wasn't luck. It was a different era and a different time. She earned those. I'm
No,
not.
she did. She won. They call her the queen of clay because
Yeah.
she won. How many
It's like
French Open?
8 or something.
Yeah,
It's like a lot of them.
and she beat the last one. She beat, I believe, she beat Martina.
I think Martina, she won her last
Yeah,
one.
she beat Martina. Wasn't good on the clay though.
Yeah.
It was grass. That was her. Yeah.
All right, next question. This one goes to Nathan. Okay, so we've been talking about being tough on kids. Just the other day, and I'll put my dad in the mix of this. Just the other day, Nathan, my father, again 82, was at the kitchen table here or the dinner table, and he looked at every one of the 5 kids, or both of your grandkids, and he looked at all of them and said it was a crime for us to not have our kids out on the tennis court at least for a little while, hitting a few balls every day. And to further that, I personally, speaking for myself, I personally think it is necessary to do that, and I personally think it's necessary to be very tough on your own kids. With that said, I feel that if you're tough on them and help them learn something, you will eventually have a more disciplined and confident player or human being as they move forward and get older and move through life. Would you agree or disagree that it's important to be tough on your kids? It's important not to give your kid silver spoons, even if you have the ability to do so. Do you agree or disagree?
I agree because if you're not tough on your kids, somebody else will.
Exactly. Someone else is going to do it. Thank you.
And also, not only in the sports, you gotta be tough with your kids. What about them grades? What about the school? Mm-hmm. You did your homework. Oh, yeah, okay. No. You gotta be watching. You gotta be the guidance, man. The reason right now a lot of kids they do what they want is because parents they're just giving a little device there. All right, go entertain yourself.
Get lost. Go kick rocks.
It's all like you gotta have time for your kids.
Exactly.
And, the best time is tennis. Could be any sport. I don't care. I mean, but you gotta be there with your kids because remember, your kids grow so fast. By the time you start looking around you, you're an old man like me. Where are my kids? Oh, now my grandkids. Hey, how you doing? No. Listen, take time for your kids. How many years you gonna have your kids? Well, maybe 10, right? 10, 11. Because when they have 12, 13, they start thinking on their own.
Yeah.
And then, stop. But when they're little, you gotta guide them. Build something in their brains. After that, they're gonna have their own personality, but they have your guidance. And they're gonna transfer this to their kids. And in order to do so, you're gonna have a good society.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more.
Good kids.
Gene says, what about if a child doesn't want to play? What then? Well, I tell my daughter, if you're not going to play tennis or sports, you're going to be a straight A student.
Well, hey,
that's what I tell them.
My dad would say, you're going to play or else.
He's 17. No, he's just asking.
He's a young kid.
Yeah.
But does he like, why do you like? Like
no,
fishing?
he likes tennis. He said, what about if you have a kid that doesn't want to play sports? That's a question.
Oh, well, if he doesn't know how to play, but getting into a computer, getting a good book, start reading a lot, man. Maybe a genius, man, You got to do something.
Yeah, that didn't fit the narrative for me or my sister. There wasn't a choice. You didn't have a choice if you didn't want to play. If you didn't want to play, you were going to get chased around the court with a tennis racket or maybe have it thrown in your direction.
Well, if somebody doesn't want to sports, bring into the arena, maybe. Carla didn't want to play tennis. That's the example right there. She saw me playing, and she just went there with her bike around the park, and then finally, she stopped her bike. I remember that. This little girl taking lessons, younger than her. She stood up there for a long time watching her, and then she came to me, I want to play tennis. See, you got to bring the kids into the scenery so they can start getting enchanted with what they see. You know what I mean? It's not just telling them. You got to bring it into the arena.
Wayne M. Chia, straight A's because we live in Alabama, and geez, if you're not going to be good at sport, at least be good at school. I wasn't, but they have no choice.
And by the way, Wayne M. Chia is in Singapore. Hopefully all is well there. But yeah, when you talk about school, we live in Alabama. No disrespect to the Alabama public school system. We're not wealthy enough to send our kids to private schools. The public school system to a lot of people is questionable. So I tell all of my kids, if you don't make straight A's, You will have no freedoms. You will go nowhere. You will go nowhere except with me to the tennis court. You'll help me teach lessons. You're going to help me pick up balls. And I will just ride you really hard. Now, Carla, how long has it been since any one of our kids has brought home a B from school? A long time, right? And Jonathan just got into college, right? Free ride.
Well, Jonathan is going to the Navy, no?
Air Force Academy.
Air Force Academy.
So, free
I was
ride,
talking
but-
to George May, excuse me, he says it's tough to get there. You have to have good grades.
Yeah, it's one of the toughest institutions to get to in the country.
And why? Because he combines sports with the academy. You know what I mean? He's a smart kid, have a sport, could be baseball, like I said, could be anything. But you got to keep your kids busy and take those devices away from your kids for crying out loud.
Well, Jonathan,
I agree with you.
Jonathan didn't
Indeed,
get a
I
phone.
agree with you.
Jonathan
agree
did
with
not
you.
get a phone till when?
Yeah.
Just recently,
I didn't-
Jonathan got a phone.
I never got a cell phone, meaning a smartphone like this. For any child in my home, and we have 5 of them, my oldest son, Jonathan, got his first smartphone this year as a senior in high school as he was just being accepted into the Air Force Academy. He's done. He's got into college. Life's in front of him. Oh, I got him a phone. But no other child in this house has a phone. I think she gives it to him a lot, which he just called her out on, and I agree with him.
Yeah, I do, but I've now taken her away because I've noticed I go to the courts, especially with my 11-year-old, and I told her, guess what? I said, I don't yell, I don't scream, but I will take away stuff. I am very patient. I haven't given it to her since I said that.
Well, can I let me say one thing.
But you did. But she's gonna be homeschooling. You said make sure she has a social life. So I do let her talk to her friends.
Well, yes, but Lily's a beautiful girl. Lily, by the way, there's 2 children that we have that are built like Carla and her father. Which again, no disrespect to any of the other ones, but you guys are muscular. You got the perfect tennis physique. We have a 4-year-old boy and we have Lily. And then when I come home and I see Lily in her room with the phone pointed in her direction, making stupid dance videos on something called TikTok, and she's not out on the court with me because supposedly she's here studying, but she's got your phone, I get really mad.
I have my phone with me at the tennis court, so that's not
or however it goes
That's
down.
not accurate.
Sometimes I'll be like, "Where's Lily at?" Open the door, she's like dancing in front of a phone.
We took that away because of that. Because I told her, I said, "You're gonna pout out here. You're gonna be homeschooled with me. Guess what? Guess what that means for you? That means every day on the tennis court." Plus school, I said, I will let you socialize. I won't scream, I won't yell, but I won't move from the court until you do what you have to do.
Yeah, she's a really...
And we stayed there 2 hours doing one drill. I didn't yell. I said, I'm not going to yell, but I will stay here. I will win.
Yeah.
I said, I will win.
Now here's a perfect example of kids being tough to teach when they're your own kids in tennis. So Lily was out doing a drill with her for like an hour or something to get it to get her to do it. I get out there and she does it in like 5 minutes. It just tells you sometimes when you're around a certain parent, they take it differently. All right, moving forward for time.
When Michael Walker said, Jonathan just getting a phone as a senior high school isn't normal. My nephews have phones since 11 and all get straight A's. But it's the way we choose to do it. Let me tell you something.
I don't want
have to worry
distractions.
about Jonathan hanging out with the wrong people.
He's never even had a girlfriend.
Getting shots. He did have a
It's time for all that stuff.
I said, this is the way I prefer to do it, Michael Walker, especially in New York. If they were in New York, it'd be worse. So
yeah, we disagree on that one. No worries. Much love. All right, real quickly, these are rapid questions. Nathan, who is the best female player and the best male tennis player of all time?
I would say Martina.
And Federer?
Ratilova. And the man, I believe there's a few of them, but I'm going to say for now is Federer.
You?
For me, the best ever?
Best ever, male and female.
Women's, I'm sorry. I saw a lot of you guys talking about. For me, it's Steffi Graf. To me, she's the best ever.
Male?
Male, I love Pete Sampras.
All right, Carla, next question for you, Carla. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, Carla, what do you regret the most looking back on your tennis career? For example, not training hard enough, maybe not liking a certain player or a coach, maybe not studying. What is the thing?
Definitely not training harder. I think I had all the tools to make it out there. So not training hard. Definitely my biggest regret.
So if you went back in time, you would have trained harder.
Absolutely. And started younger. That's the key. Start younger.
Nathan, next question's for you. What do you regret the most when looking back at Carla's tennis career?
That I probably I didn't push hard enough. I should be more smart about it instead of being more aggressive.
And I know that's a tough question.
And if I would have used a little bit of psychology on her, probably she would be because she had the tools. But I was so, and hey guys, you gotta take it easy on your kids. Important thing is education. It's the more important thing. Sports is beautiful, but then if they want it, they will develop on their own, but you gotta be the guidance all the time. I regret that I probably should have used more, psychology instead of be, you gotta win, you gotta. No. It's not like that. This is a beautiful sport. You gotta be smart about it.
Next question. For what it's worth, Nathan, from myself to you as a father, and you obviously a father. He has more than 2 kids. 4? You have 4 kids.
Yeah, I got 4 kids.
And a lot of grandchildren. I think you have now 7 grandchildren, or 6 and
Well,
a half. You
another
got one on the way.
One on the oven, yeah.
So, for what it's worth, if you never introduced Carla to the game of tennis, we never would have met because I met her while she was trying to become a coach. So thank you for kicking her ass every now and then. All right, next question. Next question is for Carla. Carla, what do you regret the most looking back? Or no, I already asked you that. I already asked you both that.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I lost track of the flow here.
Questions.
All right, so Nathan has the next question then. Okay, Nathan, next question. In my opinion, Nathan, Carla had the strength in the game to be top 20 in the world. In my opinion, no question. Currently, I still think at her age, she could still be top 100. Now, the body doesn't recover after playing matches every day. So, hypothetically, if she could play one match against someone top 100 in the world on one fresh day, I think she would win and win pretty easily against a lot of these girls because there are a bunch of pushers out there. Number one, I'll rephrase the question. In my opinion, Carla had the strength in the game to be top 20 in the world. Currently, could still beat someone in the top 100 in the world. Do you agree or disagree?
Well, it just depends. Like I said, it depends on how you feel that day. Because when you turn the age, I don't want to say your age.
Yeah. No, it's okay. I'm
she's
about to be 41.
So
Yep.
we get it.
Let me tell you, those girls, they train every day, buddy.
Yeah. It's
And they
tough.
have there's different training methods that they use now. But they can cover that. They can cover like a quarterback and cover the when they're gonna release the ball. They know where they're gonna hit, and they hit with authority, with power. This is a new game now. You know what I mean? But yeah, she could give it a good game. Any of those girls, those juniors, she can give it a good game.
Okay, so to add on to the question, what were some of Carla's key strengths and key weaknesses as she was developing?
Her serve.
Still is.
Still is.
Serve, because
Still is.
she releases the ball too high, and windy days, that's tough. And by the time she come around, you gotta have the perfect pronation and the perfect timing. So I believe that they gotta show her. That was her one of her.
She still has it.
Her problem.
But I can hit it. No.
But she can hit it now at least.
Yeah.
She can hit it hard.
Yeah.
I mean, she can ace it. And I believe her net game was when she was junior. Her net game wasn't that.
Still is.
I want her to have a more, a compact shot. Don't swing too much. Just, you know what I mean. But her strong game was baseline. She was a baseliner. She could be there all day long with you. I don't care what you throw at her. She can run it.
Yeah,
You know that.
Yeah, if I try to play baseline with Carla, I get blown off the court. But if I can get my serving and volleying going and place then I have a chance.
You remember the weapons that they build now? Serving and volley is not easy.
No.
You gotta place the ball right.
You have to play. You can't serve hard because it comes back to you have to kick it.
You gotta
and you have
put
to
a
place
lot
it.
of movement and make your opponent move away from the spot they're waiting for.
And then you can move.
And then but believe me, those weapons they build now and those strong players that they have now, the serving and volley, even Federer stopped for a while.
Yeah,
because
my
it
advice
wasn't
is-
easy.
I think Zverev, Alexander Zverev, or Sasha Zverev's older brother, Misha Zverev. I think he's still a pretty quality serving volleyer. I think he gets beaten a lot, obviously. But,
Yeah.
all right, next question. Carla, this is for you. This is an honest question. I want you to think about this. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. But here's the question. Are you ready? All right, Carla. Things happen in life that lead us off of our paths and onto new paths. What, in your honest opinion, pulled you away from your tennis training? In my opinion, what pulled you away from being future top 20 in the world or higher? And do you regret it? Was it kids? Was it getting married too young? What was it that stopped your training and changed paths? And number two, when this was occurring, did your dad try to help you through this?
My dad tried to help me until the end, so as much as he could. I mean, I did have a coach I lived with, but it's very competitive out there. And if you can't travel and play the tournaments, all those tournaments, you fall behind. And I don't know. I think as I got older, I just know it was just tougher. Ended up quitting tennis for a while. Got married young. Forgot about it. Went back to it.
So life,
happened,
and I wasn't wanting a dissertation there. I wrote here Gene Swart.
You have to do it younger, I think.
So I don't
to
know. I'm
accomplish
sure
it.
Gene's still out there, but Gene is right here. Do you see your name, Gene Swart? I think a lot about this young man here, and maybe none of you care, but I was talking to Gene Swart the other day, and he watched his grandmother die in front of him. And that's tough on a 17-year-old young man that lives with his mother and father in South Africa. So number one, condolences once again to Gene Swart for watching. He was trying to put his grandmother to sleep, and she had a stroke and passed away right in front of him. And I was there to talk to him during this. So number one, I'll never forget that. We talk about things that we don't forget. And this young 17-year-old boy in South Africa watched his grandmother pass away in front of him. So what would you say to a young man like Gene Swart that is now trying to live through his grandmother? What would you say to him if he was aspiring to play tennis? Being that we just discussed you lost your way, and maybe it's a blessing you did, and maybe we never would have met or whatever, but you lost your way and you were on your way. What would you tell him as a young man that's just now trying to find his own way?
Don't give up. I mean, I think I gave up too quickly. I should have kept fighting. Have more belief in yourself. That's the key. If you don't have belief in yourself, it's just not going to happen for you.
Keep grinding, bro. Life is
Don't
tough.
give up.
Don't give up. And you will find light at the end of any tunnel as long as you work hard. All right, ending this show on a couple of quick things. Number one, we're going to have a quick father-daughter trivia.
No boy.
Okay, so there's going to be 6 questions. Whoever answers it first wins, and we'll move forward. Question number 1. Are you guys ready? This is a battle. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Carla and Padre. Who did Roger Federer beat to win his first and only French Open?
Soderling.
Boom. Daughter wins it. Question number 2. Don't look at my answers. Question number 2. Who did Rafael Nadal beat to win his first major?
He beat an Argentinian guy, a lefty guy. His name was Porta.
He got it. Boom. 1-1.
Shoot, I would have
Boom, boom. Number 3. Who did Steffi Graf beat to win her first major?
Chris Ever?
Nope.
Martina.
Got it. 2-1, Dad. Let's go. Question number 4. Cuatro. Who did Novak Djokovic? Who did Novak Djokovic beat to win his first major?
I believe it's...
That's her guess is out. You haven't guessed yet.
Well, but I was about to say Federer, but don't tell me it was Nadal.
Tsonga. Joe Wilfred
Yeah,
Tsonga.
Oh, that's right, Tsonga.
Michael Walker and Gene answered it.
Yeah, that was the
Right.
Australian
Tsonga.
Open. Yeah,
Let's go.
Australian Open. Yeah.
Question number 5. Who did Billie Jean King play in the Battle of the Sexes match?
Bobby Riggs.
Boom. Tie ball game, tiebreaker right here. You ready? Who did Martina Navratilova beat to win her last? Who did Martina Navratilova beat to win her last singles major title?
Zina Garrison.
Boom. Daughter took it to the cake.
He was Zina Garrison. Yeah, I know Zina Garrison.
All right, so as we end the show, I always have to do one thing, and I always put Nathan on the spot, but he's got to do it no matter what. Nathan's going to tune us out on a guitar song, so I have the guitar song.
No, man, what are you doing?
You got to do it, got to do it.
Why you do this to me?
You can just do la 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 what I love
Oh,
and I do,
brother.
and I do, and I do, and
No,
I do.
man, let's see.
All right, so you can think about it, but pick it. Energy is good, whatever, and it's on you. We're going to fade out on you, bro.
Oh, brother, but this is...
Any song. If you want to even stand up, you can. If you can play it.
Well, I'm not going to play the whole song. I'm just going to scratch a few chords and bingo. You know?
Oh, you can play it.
Take me home to the place I'll be gone, West Virginia, Montemama. Take me home, country road.
Yesterday.
He says play Yesterday. Someone, can you play Yesterday? Beatles?
that?
I don't know.
Michael Walker.
Someone just asked it from New York.
New York.
Can you play Yesterday? Yesterday?
Yesterday, let me see. Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. Now it look as though they here to stay. Oh, I believe in yesterday, suddenly. I'm not half the man I used to be. There is shadows hanging over me. Oh, yesterday came suddenly. Why she had to go, I don't know. She wouldn't say. I said something wrong. How I long for yesterday. Yesterday, that was such an easy game to play. Now I need a place to hide away. Oh, I believe in yesterday.
Great show. Great show, Carla. Great job.
Bye, guys.
Peace out. See
All
ya.
right, now.
All right, that was